Standing straight up now, rigid even. Almost as if he's 𝐿𝓊𝒸𝓈 I'm going to fall. I'm not. This ledge is at least a foot wide, and I'm mostly on the roof side. I could easily catch myself before I fell, not to mention I've got the wind in my favor. I glance down at my legs and then back up at him. No, thanks, I'm quite comfortable where I am. He turns a little, like he can't look straight at me. Please get down. It's more of a demand now, despite his use of the word please. There are 7 empty chairs up here. Almost 6, I correct, reminding him that he just tried to murder one of them. He doesn't find the humor in my response. When I fail to follow his orders, he takes a couple of steps closer. You are a mere 3 inches from falling to your death. I've been around enough of that for one day. He motions for me to get down again. You're making me nervous, not to mention ruining my high. I roll my eyes and swing my legs over. Heaven forbid a joint go to waste. I hop down and wipe my hands across my jeans. Better, I say as I walk toward him. He lets out a rush of air, as if seeing me on the ledge 𝐿𝓊𝒸𝓈 had him holding his breath. I pass him to head for the side of the roof with the better view, and as I do, I can't help but notice how unfortunately cute he is. No, cute is an insult. This guy is beautiful, well manicured, smells like money, looks to be several years older than me. His eyes crinkle in the corners as they follow me, and his lips seem to frown, even when they aren't. When I reach the side of the building that overlooks the street, I lean forward and stare down at the cars below, trying not to appear impressed by him. I can tell by his haircut alone that he's the kind of man people are easily impressed by, and I refuse to feed into his ego. Not that he's done anything to make me think he even has one. But he is wearing a casual Burberry shirt, and I'm not sure I've ever been on the radar of someone who could casually afford one. I hear footsteps approaching from behind, and then he leans against the railing next to me. Out of the corner of my eye, I watch as he takes another hit of his joint. When he's finished, he offers it to me, but I wave it off. The last thing I need is to be under the influence around this guy. His voice is a drug in itself. I kind of want to hear it again, so I throw a question in his direction. So what did that chair do to make you so angry? He looks at me, like really looks at me. His eyes meet mine and he just stares, hard, like all my secrets are right there on my face. I've never seen eyes as dark as his. Maybe I have, but they seem darker when they're attached to such an intimidating presence. He doesn't answer my question, but my curiosity isn't easily put to rest. If he's going to force me down from a very peaceful, comfortable ledge, then I expect him to entertain me with answers to my nosy questions. Was it a woman? I inquire. Did she break your heart? He laughs a little with that question. If only my issues were as trivial as matters of the heart. He leans into the wall so that he can face me. What floor do you live on? He licks his fingers and pinches the end of his joint, then puts it back in his pocket. That's because I don't live here. I point in the direction of my apartment. See that insurance building? He squints as he looks in the direction I'm pointing. Yeah. I live in the building next to it. It's too short to see from here. It's only 3 stories tall. He's facing me again, resting his elbow on the ledge. If you live over there, why are you here? Your boyfriend live here or something? His comment somehow makes me feel cheap. It was too easy an amateurish pickup line. From the looks of this guy, I know he has better skills than that. It makes me think he saves the more difficult pickup lines for the women he deems worthy. You have a nice roof, I tell him. He lifts an eyebrow, waiting for more of an explanation. I wanted fresh air, somewhere to think. I pulled up Google Earth and found the closest apartment complex with a decent rooftop patio. He regards me with a smile. At least you're economical, he says. That's a good quality to have. At least, I nod, because I am economical. And it is a good quality to have. Why did you need fresh air? He asks. Because I buried my father today and gave an epically disastrous eulogy and now I feel like I can't breathe. I face forward again and slowly exhale. Can we just not talk for a little while? He seems a bit relieved that I asked for silence. He leans over the ledge and lets an arm dangle as he stares down at the street. He stays like this for a while, and I stare at him the entire time. He probably knows I'm staring, but he doesn't seem to care. A guy fell off this roof last month, he says. I would be annoyed at his lack of respect for my request for silence, but I'm kind of intrigued. Was it an accident? He shrugs. No one knows. It happened late in the evening. His wife said she was cooking dinner and he told her he was coming up here to take some pictures of the sunset. He was a photographer. They think he was leaning over the ledge to get a shot of the skyline, and he slipped. I look over the ledge, wondering how someone could possibly put themselves in a situation where they could fall by accident. But then I remember I was just straddling the ledge on the other side of the roof a few minutes ago. When my sister told me what happened, the only thing I could think about was whether or not he got the shot. I was hoping his camera didn't fall with him, because that would have been a real waste, you know. To die because of your love of photography, but you didn't even get the final shot that cost you your life. His thought makes me laugh. Although I'm not sure I should have laughed at that. Do you always say exactly what's on your mind? He shrugs. Not to most people. This makes me smile. I like that he doesn't even know me, but for whatever reason, I'm not considered most people to him. He rests his back against the ledge and folds his arms over his chest. Were you born here? I shake my head. No, moved here from Maine after I graduated college. He scrunches up his nose, and it's kind of hot. Watching this guy dressed in his Burberry shirt with his $200 haircut making silly faces. So you're in Boston purgatory, huh? That's gotta suck. What do you mean? I ask him. The corner of his mouth curls up. The tourists treat you like a local, the locals treat you like a tourist. I laugh. Wow, that's a very accurate description. I've been here 2 months. I'm not even in purgatory yet, so you're doing better than I am. What brought you to Boston? My residency. And my sister lives here. He taps his foot and says, right beneath us, actually. Married a tech-savvy Bostonian and they bought the entire top floor. I look down. The entire top floor. He nods. Lucky bastard works from home. Doesn't even have to change out of his pajamas and makes 7 figures a year. Lucky bastard, indeed. What kind of residency? Are you a doctor? He nods. Neurosurgeon. Less than a year left of my residency and then it's official. Stylish, well-spoken, and smart. And smokes pot. If this were an SAT question, I would ask which one didn't belong. Should doctors be smoking weed? He smirks. Probably not. But if we didn't indulge on occasion, there would be a lot more of us taking the leap over these ledges, I can promise you that. He's facing forward again with his chin resting on his arms. His eyes are closed now, like he's enjoying the wind against his face. He doesn't look as intimidating like this. You want to know something that only the locals know? Of course, he says, bringing his attention back to me. I point to the east. See that building? The one with the green roof? He nods. There's a building behind it on Melcher. There's a house on top of the building. Like a legit house, built right on the rooftop. You can't see it from the street, and the building is so tall that not many people even know about it. He looks impressed. Really? I nod. I saw it when I was searching Google Earth, so I looked it up. Apparently a permit was granted for the construction in 1982. How cool would that be? To live in a house on top of a building. You'd get the whole roof to yourself, he says. I hadn't thought of that. If I owned it I could plant gardens up there. I'd have an outlet. Who lives there? He asks. No one really knows. It's one of the great mysteries of Boston. He laughs and then looks at me inquisitively. What's another great mystery of Boston? Your name. As soon as I say it, I slap my hand against my forehead. It sounded so much like a cheesy pickup line, the only thing I can do is laugh at